Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon, and today we are looking at the Metagross GX deck, which did extremely well, making it all the way to the finals and very close to taking it all at the Madison Regional Championships. Me and Metagross do have a bit of previous history. For anyone who watches the streams, I originally didn't really rate this card very much, and I actually built it to try and troll Jack, knowing that he was probably going to be playing Mega Gardevoir very early on in our Guardians Rising testing. Well, some people took the archetype a little bit more seriously and have now shown us the way in how to build this deck a lot better. Namely, Christopher Szymanski. He is a very, very good, notable player. He's had some very good regionals runs. I believe he's come in the finals 2 times in the last 3 regionals. So, very, very good player in both standard and expanded. And a very innovative player as well to make this archetype work. This is not his exact 60 cards. I've actually read his 6 Prizes article. It was a very good read. I'm going to be linking it, of course, because he himself said he would make changes to his own 60, and I've made some of my own personal preference changes also, and I believe this is a good baseline to profile on the channel. Now, before we get into the deck list, I will say that you can still check out the action from Madison, where you can see this deck also feature on stream, I believe, a couple of times, by going to twitch.tv/Pokemon TCG. That is for the American stream. You will see all of Madison in the backlog for a couple of weeks. And if you want to see myself doing some commentary in the Birmingham regionals, I think it was, in terms of content and games, one of the best regionals we've ever had, streamed here in Europe, and myself, Ross, Julian, and the newcomer Jamie all did a great job, in my opinion, this weekend, and it all went swimmingly, and we also saw a very diverse metagame. So you can check that out at twitch.tv, once again, /Pokemon TCG, this time _EU at the very end, and you will find a backlog for a couple of weeks. So do get in touch and let me know if you find them okay. I'll, again, probably try and link them in the description if I remember. But for now, let's actually get into this profile, because I've been rambling for a minute or two. So, this is Metagross GX. As you can see on the right of your screen, this is a big tanking deck. It's a very bulky Stage 2 Pokemon Metagross with 250 HP. Its weakness is to fire, and this is an issue, or could become more of an issue now that the archetype is known and much less of a rogue. Volcanion EX didn't see much play in either event. One made top 32 over in Birmingham. I'm not sure about Madison. I haven't checked the results as closely. And really, the only other thing that you're worried about is Flareon being teched into other Stage 1 decks, like other Evolutions, Zoroark, Lurantis, these sorts of things, Vespiquen playing it. This is where things can gain fire typing and become an issue, because you can get one-hit KO'd. Because pretty much everything else is out of reach for Metagross with its big 250. It can even tank hits from things like Mega Rayquaza, which is pretty crazy. He does have the ability Geotech System. Once during a turn, you may attach a Psychic or Metal Energy from the discard pile to your active Pokemon. Obviously stackable for each Metagross you have in play. I've just said how bulky he is, so once he is in play, he stays in play typically for a couple of turns. So the more we get out, the more value we get from this ability every single turn. And it really complements his attack. Giga Hammer for 2 metal and a colorless. Deals 150, and very similar to the likes of Volcanion EX and Lapras GX, we can't use his attack next turn, which is very frustrating. It makes the card potentially, like on paper, even worse. He has a big 3 retreat cost, which actually works in our favor in this archetype, because we are simply trying to attack once, pay the big old retreat cost, go into another Metagross, or potentially a Tapu Lele GX, and use all of our Geotech systems to rack them back onto a new target. Maybe it's our second Metagross, or maybe it's a Tapu Lele. 150 is pretty good numbers. We're KOing all non-EXs, really. Stage 2 non-EXs, even Break Evolutions, which is more important now that we saw Zoroark Break come in the finals at Birmingham, and also top 4 in Madison, respectively. So that deck does seem to have some steam behind it. So it's one to now be aware of when we're thinking about important numbers. But really, Giga Hammer is just a choice band away from hitting 180, which is obviously a good number. Gets over Tapu Bulu, gets over Drampa, gets over Tapu Lele, gets over a lot of targets, so that is going to be very helpful to us. He does have the Algorithm GX attack also for a colourless cost, allowing us to search for any 5 cards and put them into the hand. This is similar to like a Big Wheel GX in my opinion, where your opponent oftentimes will just respond, but if you have no hand, this is still a good option for you. However, you have to bear in mind that in this deck you actually don't want to use this very often, or at the very least you hold off on using the GX attack until you can get big value from it. Typically, it's best to hold off on this as long as you have a decent hand that's workable, because it's just so likely in the early game that people will have ends. They'll have more physical copies in their deck, they will have more Ultra Balls and physical Tapu Leles. So if you just go for it like turn 2, you'll never get big value from Algorithm. But if you wait to the late game, and potentially you're the one ending your opponent, both down to low hand sizes, and you can afford to Algorithm because of your high HP, you're pretty much able to tank a hit. If you put them down to like 2 cards and then Algorithm to guarantee you the win for next turn, even if it is really something convoluted like Candy Metagross, then VS Eco for Lysandre, because it's this amazing 5 cards, you can find these really niche combos to pull out games that doesn't really seem like you should have any hope of winning. So it is a very good GX attack. You have to be careful of when to use it, and try and hold off until you hit the late game. There's another reason why you don't want to use this very early as well, and that's because we're playing Tapu Lele in the deck, which I'll get to in a moment. Quick note on the Metang, you want to use the 3 retreat cost one in this list, because we play a single copy of Heavy Ball. And we're also using the Beldum that has the single retreat cost, because that means we can simply turn 1, going second, pay retreat of any energy, and get into our Alolan Vulpix, which we play. I'll touch on this quickly. I'm playing a 2 count. Shemansky only played 1, but he did sing this card's praises, so I thought I'd play the extra copy so that it is not as often prized, and so that we lead with it an extra 5% of the time, which is pretty good. Not least because it means you're leading with Tapu Lele 5% less of the time, so that's pretty interesting. Beacon means that we are able to search our deck for 2 Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into the hand. Very, very good for a Stage 2 deck. We can grab ourselves Metang and Metagross in a turn. If we have like 1 Candy, we can just go Metagross, or if our hand is dead, we can get like Lele Metang, Lele Metagross, whatever we want. So this card is really awesome for a free cost, and even if we don't lead it, we can happily put energy in our discard pile because it combos off with Geotech systems anyway. That it's really easy to get value from Alolan Vulpix. It's like a very nice, neat card in here. It does have Icy Snow. It can actually deal 20 damage. We have so many choice bands in the list that this isn't the most ridiculous attack. I've actually used this a bit in testing because it can put things in range of Giga Hammer, even if they have like 200. If it's some of the EV evolutions and such, that can be useful. So even Icy Snow isn't out of the question because we have acceleration from Geotech systems. So pretty cool play if you ever want to make it. We do have 2 Tapu Lele GX. This is like an amazing card, everyone knows. The Wonder Tag ability is going to be super helpful, of course, because we can grab turn 1 Brigette, we can grab Skyla for Candy, we can grab Wally to move into our evolutions also in a quick manner. We can find other standard supporters to draw us more cards. But there are extra roles for Tapu Lele in this list. It is also a very viable attacker. Energy Drive, dealing 20 times the number of energy attached to both active Pokemon. With so much potential acceleration and manual attachments, Tapu Lele also becomes a big threat as a damaging Pokemon. And at the same time, this is our most often used GX attack in my opinion. Tapu Cure GX heals all damage counters from 2 of our benched Pokemon. I've already said that the deck is a tanking deck. It is very, very difficult to one-hit KO Metagrosses. Very few decks are able to, especially without weakness. So naturally, especially because we will be paying retreat with our Pokemon so often because of the text of Giga Hammer, we will oftentimes attack with Giga Hammer, tank a hit, pay retreat into our next Metagross, Geotech systems it all back on, attach for a turn, Giga Hammer, then that one takes a hit, and then we simply pay retreat because we can Geotech systems our 2 Psychic Energy back. As soon as we draw into one of these cards, it means that Tapu Cure is pretty much always live as long as we have our abilities, and then we simply spend the turn attaching once to Lele either from the hand or via the Geotech systems, and curing these two Metagrosses to keep them on the board and pretty much secure the game for us. As soon as you hit Tapu Cure, especially if it's on 2 Metagross, I feel like you are hugely ahead in the game. So that is why we're playing 2 count of Psychic Energy. It rarely punishes you. There are very small times when you will be only able to find 1 metal to Psychic and you won't Giga Hammer and you'll be super sad. But I believe the 2 copies is more important right now because Tapu Cure is a very large element of the deck. Let's move into the items now. I'm playing the single copy of Heavy Ball. I don't think Christopher played this, but I think it makes a lot of sense when you do play Skyla. I really like just having a free search. It combos off with the rare candy plays and such, and it can also find Metang, so I like the single extra copy. We are then playing 2 Max Potion, which is 1 less than Christopher. This is my own personal opinion that I feel Tapu Lele GX's GX attack in most games is enough for you. I know against non-EXs it is a bit more of a struggle and you do need to be very cautious about your max potions. But I'm just feeling less greedy, and I still have in the back of my mind that this is a clunky stage 2 deck, and I just want to have the 2 slots dedicated to it rather than 3. Unlike him, I'm actually playing a 3 Field Blow account, so I did flip-flop these counts more so for my fear of Drampa Garbodor. You simply have to always have an answer against Garbotoxin. You can't let these float stones lie, because as soon as they stick on the board for a turn, you've lost a big ton of tempo, and that's, you know, you needing to find more max potions, needing to hit your Tapu Cure, and you're sort of falling behind in the race. So having, again, the 1 copy of Skyla, the 3 Field Blower, means that we can pretty much be fairly safe and secure against Garbotoxin a lot of the game. And that's hopefully enough for us to maybe bias the turn, even to attach energies that turn and Lysandre and KO it, you know. So it's going to be very good for us. I like the really high count. It helps us contest Stadium War as well. There aren't too many that can punish us, but things like Parallel can still be annoying because we rely on Lele for Brigette so much and such. So Field Blower is going to be good for us. It can also get rid of the Silent Labs against the Sylveon player if we need to get turn 1 Brigette. So very, very good card. I feel like it'll rarely ever punish us to have this high account because we have a lot of consistency in this build. You can see the 4 Elves, 4 VS, 4 Ultra, 4 Rare Candy. I flip-flop the counts of, he was playing 3 Metang, 3 Candy. I like playing 4 too. It's a bit more aggressive. And I'm also playing the Wally, which is potentially an aggressive card as well as the 1 count. Just getting you into more Metagross more quickly when you have Tapu Lele playing these 1-offs can bring surprise knockouts out of places as well. So pretty cool card. I do like it a lot. We are playing the Skyla, pretty integral as a 1-off. I'm really close to putting this to 2. It's my debate right now of having a split with Wally and just having 1 Skyla, but this could easily be another Skyla if you're not feeling the Wally right now. But it gets you into the Candy, gets you into Heavy Ball, gets you into Blower. So you want to see this as soon as possible, really. And oftentimes you will actually use your second Tapu Lele to 1 attack to find Skyla, because it just guarantees you like Metagrosses, which is really important. We are playing the single copy of Hex Maniac. This can turn off Flareon's Flare effect for a turn, which means you can actually tank hits, which is cool. You can also Hex Maniac a Greninja player, which is very good. You can Hex Tapu Bulus. Well, you're hexing the Vikavolt element of that archetype, which is pretty good. You have a tech for the mirror if you play Hex Maniac as well, which is quite fun. But yeah, there's a few archetypes out there right now where hexing is actually good for you. Once you've done your shenanigans, ending on a hex is also pretty cool. The one of Karen is a really interesting choice. I think it's perfect. Szymanski had great reasoning for this card. It came second in Seattle, the Vespiquen deck, so it is important to have a counter for that, of course. But in terms of spatial efficiency, I don't feel like 1 Rescue Stretcher beats 1 Karen, because if your army of Beldums getting knocked out, you do need to refresh those. You don't want to use something like Brock's Grit, because you want the energy to remain in your discard pile, so that you can Geotech Systems it all back. In a similar vein, you don't really need to play Super Rod, because Geotech Systems is your best friend. As long as you can Karen back Pokemon, you can always access your energy. At least that's the concept. Then we have the 2 count of Brigette. I believe this is an important enough card in stage 2 list to play 2 of a lot of the time. I'm playing 2 of in Vikavolt and I'm playing 2 of in this, because you want to access it with 1 to tag. If it's prized, you're the saddest person on the planet. And also having the extra copy means you actually lead it, you know, an extra time here and there, an extra occasion. So we have physical outs. We have 4 Ultra Ball, 2 Lele, 2 Brigette, 8 physical outs to get the turn 1. And this is where we springboard as a deck. Stage 2 is very reliant on the turn 1 Brigette. We just go Beldum, Beldum, Beldum if we're going first, or we go Beldum, Beldum, Vulpix if we're going second, so that we can automatically beacon that turn, because all of our other basics, if we didn't lead Vulpix, have a single retreat cost. So we can just pay retreat into Vulpix and get the free attack cost of beacon off, which is very good for you. Brigette is hugely important, I think, in my opinion, enough to warrant the 2 count. 2 Lysandre, we want to pick off EX and GX Pokemon whenever we can, because just our maths works out so nicely on them that we can get these 1-hit KOs quite consistently due to our high choice band count, as you can see. So Lysandre, you know, pretty standard staple as a 3 of. 3 N and 3 Professor Sycamore, just keeping us going throughout the game. There does come points when N is your best friend and you N algorithm. If you're able to algorithm and not be forced to Tapu Cure, I think you're already always winning that game. But it potentially means that they have had some 1-hit KOs rather than Tapu Cure. So again, N into algorithm to get you back into the game is your win condition there. So that is always a combo. And at times, you don't even need to have algorithm by your side. You can just have so many Metagross on board. If you have 3 on board, you can just simply do the cycle of pay retreat, move, triple geotech, pay retreat, move, triple geotech, and you don't even need to have a hand to do that combo. So N at some points just won't hurt you and is only here to spite your opponent. And the 3 Sycamore as well, just to draw more cards. Also gets energy in the discard pile early, which is cool for the geotech systems. 4 choice band is a really high count. It's actually really good on Giga Hammer, of course. It also means Tapu Lele is that much more aggressive in the early turns if you want to start attacking to it. And of course we have the support of geotech systems to increase damage and get, again, knockouts where people may otherwise not expect it. And it even means Alolan Vulpix can do Icy Snow for like cheeky numbers here and there, because we play so many choice bands, we can just afford to attach them to random things at times, like pre-Sycamore, and you can like make numbers work for you. So it's pretty random, but also pretty cool. And then we are playing the 8-2 split of energy. I've already said earlier that Psyche is too important to not have because of Tapu Cure, and having 2 count instead of 1 will only punish you in very rare circumstances, but is just so integral to the deck that you can't afford to not play it. So that's going to be the list. I think it is pretty set in stone personally for me. There's a few count changes that you could consider. The max potion going up, the field blower going down based on metagame. The Hex Maniac could potentially come out if you're not expecting Mirror, Vika Volt, or many Flareons. Right now, I feel like it's potentially a card that you don't have much space for during the game to play, because we need to keep digging a lot of the time to find more Metang and Metagross. But then again, there are times when you have the ideal set off and firing off hexes is going to be really powerful for you, because it limits people's comeback potential and their means of getting into 1-hit KOs as well. So I feel like right now it's a fairly necessary card, but I feel this is also potentially greedy. And the Karen as well is more of a meta call for the moment, but I still feel it fits the role better than a Brock regardless, so I'd keep it in also. And the Wally is one for you to try out. With only the 4-2-4, it may be less relevant to play Wally, and you may just want to cut this for the other Skyla. But in terms of like other Pokemon and stuff, I don't think it's worth trying to tech in. Even things like Genesect DX, which I've heard people talk about, I don't feel like it's too worth it. I'd rather just attack with Metagross most of the time, because he gets 1-hit KOs for pretty much the same thing as Metagross as Genesect does. And the bench actually gets tight because we always Lele Brigette, and that's 4 slots already taken up, and you want to just drop down your other Lele at other points in the game to find you like Skyla and stuff. So even something as innocent as a Genesect, I don't feel like is worth making the space for. If ever there are spaces cropping up, I would probably just put in more supporters. I'm not playing Olympia in this list, which is something Szymanski did do, but I am playing the 3rd field blower, so I feel I can get rid of Garbodors that much more often, so I shouldn't have issues retreating. So there it is. We will jump into PTCGO. As you can tell, guys, I'm really tired. I've just come back from Birmingham, and my voice is also dying because I've done so much talking over the weekend. But hopefully we can find some good games here and have some fun. In terms of matchups, Metagross has a decent list of good ones. He should have a pretty favourable Drampa Garbodor, which I believe we've queued into. Basically, most things that can't one-hit KO it are going to be favourable for you. Oh, look how good this hand would have been with a basic Pokemon. Oh, so sad. We had the turn 1 Brigette and everything. There's also, obviously, Sylveon. We can attach energy every single turn, so their energy denial is terrible. And we hit for weakness at the same time, which is crazy good. We are going first. We have turn 1 Brigette. This is a really good start for us here. And this is why we play the 2 copies. What else is there? Vikavolt Bulu. That's a fairly even matchup. I feel like we do well overall. I'm going to bench this Vulpix quite happily. And just go triple Beldum here. We have 2 Lele, 1 Metagross prized. What are we up against? Oh, it's going to be the Garbodor thing, right? So we have prized 1 Blower. We have both our max potions, that's good. We prized a Candy, prized a Ball, prized a VS Seeker, prized an M. And yeah, not bad. Not bad prizes overall. We can live with this. Let's get the army out. Not going to attach to active because it just gives him an energy drive, so we will attach to the bench. Don't feel like putting Choice Band down because we get into delinquent range, so let's pass. And let's see how nuts our turn 2 can go. Let's see what our opponent can do, because they didn't lead ideally. And we had the alternative there of attaching active and retreating into the Vulpix this turn. Potentially only really punished by Kukui, but I still didn't want to take the risk. Our opponent's actually playing teammates in here, which is interesting, and Alter. So maybe it's a more non-EX focused build. Nonetheless, they're going to Ultra Ball Lele turn 1. Is it going to be Brigette, Fan Club, or like an N or Sycamore? Let's find out. It's going to be the Brigette, and we'll probably see a Trubbish army come down to mirror our own. Okay, so it's just Drampa Garb that plays teammates. That's fair enough. Gonna see the Choice Band come down. Gonna see the big wheel. We have an N to counter it, which is quite jokes. And sad for our opponent, but yeah, we were always going to end here, even if we top decked some other random card. I don't want to draw back into Choice Band. We'll attach active so we can beacon at the end of this turn if we don't go crazy. And if we somehow go crazy, we only have, we have no energy in our discard pile, so it's not a big deal. And we're just going to be retreating and beaconing here. We don't have any candies in hand, so I'll just go for double Metang. Alternatively, we could go for Wonder Tank next turn and go Skyla for candy. So I could go Metang Metagross if I wanted to be greedy. It does get punished by him getting Garbatoxin, and I feel like he always gets that because that's really important for him. So if I do this line, I can still Lele for Wally, and this is why it's kind of cool to have Wally in the list, right? Oh, yeah, it's still here. So we could go double Metang. We never get punished for double Metang like we could for taking one Metagross, because if we took a Metagross and do lose our abilities, we would be Sycamoring away a Metagross. This way, it's not punishable, and that's good. So thumbs up for Wally. Our opponent has only non-EXs to choose from here if he wants to Lysandre. Otherwise, it's going to be just a Berserk on the active. And we see a Choice Band to the Trubbish. He's going to go for the Garbatoxin Garbodor. So I think this is the only tool he has. Oh, maybe he's going to dig for Floatstone then. Yeah, he's going to see Sycamore. At the very least, it's Sycamore and not N. That's good for us. We do see the Trashalanche Garbodor. And now we can see no Floatstone. So we can KO this Drampa in response, which is awesome. We have the one Psychic in the discard pile. So we will be doing our Lele Wally shenanigans here. And let's see if he is going to see this one come in, boys. He thinks he's safe. He sees a Metang in the active. He's like, yeah, no problems here. We got this. We got this. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Tapu Lele Shenans. Let's go, my friend Wally. Doing some cheating here, getting some evolutions going when there shouldn't be. That's right, my friend. You are going to get evolved real quick. I'm going to use the Geotech systems. Get that Psychic attached. It is only to the active, remember, so it's a bit less versatile than some other energy accelerators. But it's so powerful, we don't even care. Get out of here, Dramper. One awkward thing right now is that he is pretty likely to develop Ability Lock next turn. Oh wow, Candy Ultra Ball off the prizes is nuts. But right now we've played so few items. Yeah, 0. His attackers are doing nothing, so Lele going to come in and do 100, but what do we care about that? We could even get End into a Field Blower. We play 3, so we have prized 1 still. We can deal with this. Yeah, nice hand. So we get hit for 130. The stadium's actually really annoying for us. Because we don't discard as many energy as we would want. Oh, he didn't get Ability Lock. Oh, I was just assuming that Ability Lock was happening. Oh, crazy. Okay. So we're going to Sycamore every time here. Try and develop some more. Metagross. Ooh, a whiff. An absolute whiff. Is it too soon to Tapu Cure? I think it's just about right. I think it's fine to do it on one target here. We still have both our max potions. So we have to be careful to retreat using our Psychic Energy here. We can manually attach. And I think this is so important right now because it's our only real threat that I need to Tapu Cure our dude. And it's just 1 max potion, but it feels like it's worth it with the amount of attackers he has available to him right now. And the fact that we only have 1 Metagross. So we have opted to use the Tapu Cure, which is often the one you'll go for over Algorithm, as I said earlier. But this feels decent right now. I imagine an N is going to be incoming. Oh, it's a Sycamore. That's really good for us. Means we can Sycamore next turn. See a Floatstone finally be developed. So Garbotoxin is down. And we're going to see Energy Drive. Dealing 90 to us. Oh, we get Ultra Ball. This is good news. We can get rid of Brigette Vulpix. We don't need them. We'll get Metagross. I'm like freely not even looking at my discard pile for items because we just have so much time with our resistance and our HP. I'm pretty sure it's only like 5 anyway. It's 4, yeah. It will be 5. Because we're going to fire off the Sycamore here. Wanting to find, of course, Field Blower. Because that will be excellent. We've drawn both, which is nice. We can evolve into our 3rd Metagross. Disgusting. Field Blower. Let's actually retreat first. Hold on. We have none in the discard pile currently. But there could be some in the discard pile. My only issue of putting more energy in the discard this turn is that... So I could Field Blower first. Ultra Ball, discard 1 metal... 1... No, because it's the 2 psychics, so I have to attack with this Metagross, right? So we will keep the energy on Tapu Lele. We'll just manually attach. I don't even need to blower this turn. That's crazy good. Do I do it just anyway? Because he has commit... How many float stones? He's commit 2. They play between 2 and 4, right? 3 and 4. And they've already committed a lot of choice bands as well. I imagine we're getting N next turn, so I will choose to Field Blower. Obviously get rid of the float. I think I also just get rid of the choice band. This can actually benefit us at times, the altar. Yeah, the choice band seems fine. I don't mind this float stone being here, to be honest. Let's just do this. And smash with Giga Hammer. And we're down to 2 prizes. And the only thing damaged on our board is a Tapu Lele. And if he wants to Lysandre for easy prizes, that resets our Geotech. It resets our Giga Hammer. So he can't really afford to take these 2 easy prizes this turn. So we seem to be in a real ascendant position right now. Especially because our abilities are still online, but it looks like he's going to be using teammates to re-establish it. But using teammates is not using N, so we can Lysandre for game always here, because we are never going to get knocked out. And yeah, pretty good game 1 for Metagross. You can see how the deck works against Drampa Garbodor, and that is pretty much still step 1 in the format. People should not be sleeping on Drampa Garb. Just because it didn't win a tournament doesn't mean it's not still a very good deck. It was still the most popular deck in Top Cut for Birmingham. Top 32, I should say. Only 1 in Top 8. And again, only 1 in Top 8 for Madison, but it was also prevalent in the Top 32. So, still a very powerful archetype. It doesn't instantly go in the bin because it doesn't win 1 tournament. I think everyone just sort of lost their minds because of how well it did in Seattle. But there we go. We are going to see the retreat into Garbodor. All he can do is the 130 damage. And what is that to a Metagross? That's what I ask you. Let's go for the Field Blower. And he should be conceding as soon as he sees this, right? Yeah, there we go. Nice. Nice first win. Let's jump back in. And that's why Field Blower is in the deck in such high counts, because you just want to always respond Garbotoxin. That worked out pretty well, I'd say. Let's see what else we're up against. Psychic Water. Aquabox, I guess. Patch City. We're not playing Olympia, which makes Patch City a bit harder. Maybe that's why Szymanski played it. Because I've not actually tested this matchup, and I'm just thinking, theory-wise, that would make a lot of sense. Regardless. Oh, it plays Artillery. Huh, interesting. Interesting. Maybe it's not Patch City. Maybe it still is. Maybe it's Patch City that uses Brigette turn 1. Good top deck. Okay, they started the Remoraid. Still no extra info. Unless it's quad artillery. Hug.deck. That would actually be annoying for us. Okay, it's Ninetales. That makes a lot more sense. Why did I not scout Why did I not think Ninetales? I'm just going to beacon this hand. I'm not worried about getting knocked out. They didn't do anything. So I don't even want to Lysandre, I don't think. Does him a favour, so we'll just beacon. Next turn we can Candy. Do I even want to Lele? Do I just Candy and allow Metang to get discarded? I think that's fine. So I might just go for this. Nah, double Beldum's still smarter. We'll just Vulpix it up, see if they were dead drawing, and we'll see how to move on from there. Here's not Tittery. The Remoraid comes down. An attachment of double colourless is going to allow 1 Abyssal Hand draw. Oh, they did have the N. Maybe it was top decked. Who knows? Nonetheless, we get a fresh hand. We have Lele. We have... It's actually a much better hand for us now. This is an excellent hand. Oops. I'm happy to get rid of Field Blowers in this matchup. We play so many that we don't get punished by it. So we'll finish on a Sycamore with Tapu Lele here. Annoyingly, we couldn't discard any Pokemon. Energy with our Sycamore here. But we can start getting some manual attachments, and it's a second turn where we can beacon, which is going to be good. Wow. You know when I said we should have some manual attachments? Jeez. Let's beacon. We need Lele. Okay then. Not the best of starts from us. Our opponent did miss Ninetales, and they still haven't moved Octillery. Let's see if they can change that next turn. Beldum unfortunately has 60 HP rather than the 50. So I don't see a knockout incoming. Putting us to like 200 with a snipe would be irritating because they would be choice band Kukui away. Just going to be the VS Seeker for the end, it looks like. Yeah. Both of us drawing pretty awkwardly. I think he's had the better hands because, wow, we've still not drawn into energy. How many cards have we actually seen in this game? It's not like we've dug a huge amount of cards, but we've seen a lot, and we've not seen any energy yet. We played 10, which isn't like the highest count, but still. It is mind-boggling. Choice band is not going to be overly important in this matchup at all. We should be committing into Lele's more than anything else. Potentially Vulpix for some Icy Snow shenanigans. Double Octillery, yo. That's value right there. That's value. With double Octillery, he'll probably be able to fire off a lot of like Hex Maniacs and other annoying things. Can I afford to Sycamore this hand? I think I just have to be aggressive here because I'm bored of drawing poorly. Here's a Candy. No more messing. Here's a Beldum. Here's an attachment. I still may as well commit it active, huh? Because we have so many geotechs. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll keep this combo. It's obviously very good. So I'll actually just beacon for these two. No, again, we need Lele. There's potential to play Skyla for Professor's Letter in this deck. Yeah, there's actually a real good reason to play Letter. Or a Choreo, because we have Beacon. I should think about that for future. This is the first time I've experienced an energy drought, though. Of this magnitude as well. Maybe we'll algorithm 5 energies. I'll teach him for ending me every turn. You're going to see the payment of retreat here with the Octillery. It's another N. They still need to develop more Vulpix. Still only 1 metal, that's crazy. Are they going to retreat? Wow, they're bringing the Ninetales up, just letting it go here. That's crazy. It's crazy. I am just going to Wally here. Get the gang. We could attach active, max potion, geotech, icy snow. Does it give us anything? No, it gives us nothing. I'll attach active. This is a useless card. But Delinquent. How likely is Ninetales to play Delinquent? We can beacon out of Delinquent range, actually. Yeah, let's get rid of these cards. I don't want them. Give me these. I don't want Lele because I'm likely to Sycamore. Unless it's exactly Lysandre KO with Choice Band. Oh, that's not even possible. Okay. I actually just want to take 1 target then. Do I just keep this open? I think I take Beldum just to stay out of Delinquent range. As crazy as that is. Actually, if I was doing that, I should have taken Metagross. But if Vulpix gets KO'd, we can put down the Beldum. Okay. Random thought stopped me. Okay, our opponent gets a Sycamore. Getting some water energy finally into this card pile. Going to see another Ice Blade. That is absolutely fine. We topped at the Lele anyway. Ugh, God's sake. Let's Max Potion. So that's 2 energy in our discard pile. So all we need to do is Sycamore into 1 energy. And we should be fine. Let's put down Beldum now. Okay, we drew into Metal Energy. This is good news. Let's pay retreat. Geotech Systems online. Another good matchup for us is, of course, Ninetales. Ninetales made 2 top 8 spots in Birmingham, but is potentially a lot more scared now that Metagross is a deck. Let's get rid of some excess cards. Again, the choice bands are terrible in the matchup. Yeah, we see a scoop. He can't win when we're in that combo, and again, that was a really slow grind, but with all the healing that we have, and also our opponent wasn't reacting too fast, we were able to get there. So, seems pretty good. Let's have one more game with the deck. And see what happens here. I saw Dark Psychic Colorless, so it could just be Turbo Darkrai. Haven't actually played this matchup. I imagine the healing in the opening turns is just grueling for them. And we play 3 Field Blowers, actually. Okay, this should be an easy matchup. With 3 Field Blowers, it can't be a hard matchup, right? Just getting rid of EXP shares and choice bands. Easy game. Surely. We are going second, so Vulpix is definitely the play here. Beldum will also go down. Ugh. My voice is terrible and I'm really tired. This has been a poor quality video, I feel. Ooh, it's Zoroark. Okay. This is a interesting matchup. He can only copy a quite bad attack. Because we have more HP than our own attack, right? And at the same time... Ooh, it's Zoroark. Interesting. Maybe that's a spanner in the works, who knows. I don't feel it should be a big issue. But going through 6 non-EX prizes, maybe a stretch. Ooh, 2 DCEs gone already. He chose to commit a Dark Energy rather than DCE. Madman. Okay. So, I've only seen non-EXs so far. Choice Bank could go on Vulpix. It's fine. We can end. Beldum energy is literally like absolutely fine here. We can just beacon into Lele. Sure. If I go Metang, we do have Wally in here. So we're 1 energy committed. We don't have enough to do a Wally play. So I have to go Lele Beldum. Yeah. I'll go Lele Beldum, evolve this one, Heavy Ball, just to Thin, unless we top deck Skyla or Rare Candy. We then see the 3rd DC get committed already, so soon. 2nd Orangaroo, this is an interesting list for sure. The least impactful field blower I've ever seen. And a Sycamore. It's a Crushing Hammer, which is absolutely fine for this deck as long as we have our abilities. Ultra Ball. Getting rid of Enhanced Hammer. He's fit a lot into this list. He's fit Zoroark, Garb, and Hammers. All with seemingly only Oranguru support. Energy Recycler, this is a wild list. Crazy, yo. Getting some Instruct value in there. Mind Jack's gonna get KO here. Let's go Beldum. Didn't top deck the Rare Candy, which is a shame. Let's Lele here. Grab ourselves Sycamore. Because Rare Candy is not enough when we only have one metal in the discard pile, and I don't feel like Algorithm is a good enough turn. Because I want to keep them for Tapu Cure, especially against non-EX decks. I feel that's important. Drew into a Candy, which is good. I think I still Geotech to the active because I need to retreat him regardless. So I'm doing this just to be a bulky Pokemon in the active. Then I just pass this turn. Next turn evolve. Have an attachment. Oh no, I still can't get there. Maybe I require Algorithm here. How much more can I stall? His 4-card hand. Hasn't seen anything but Sycamore so far. I think we can do it. We're not on this huge amount of pressure though. But I don't want this Zoroark to start creeping up on us when we haven't seen a Psychic Energy yet. Let's Algorithm. I'm feeling like it. We'll do this. We'll get our Candy. So we go Candy, Metagross. Oh, we already have a Metagross, so we don't need our other one. We'll take the Beldum. We'll take the Max Potion. We'll take the Sycamore. We have a bunch of energy. So let's take a card that we can just thin from Sycamore, I guess. It's crazy that we're taking cards just to discard cards. Is Vulpix worse than Brigette? Yes, it is. It is. Okay. There could be more energy to put in our discard pile. No, this should be fine. We already have a Blur in hand, so I was considering that, but we already have a way out if he has Garbatoxin. But if he's playing double Oranguru, it doesn't make sense for him to play Garbatoxin, right? Doesn't make sense. Oh, he had the end in the 4-card hand. Sadness. Goodbye, Dream. What a terrible hand. No, it's actually fine. We can live with this. Mind Jack for a Hunter. Max Potion would mean we have to hit a second. It means that our Sycamore has to hit second Metagross and Energy. But I like it. Otherwise we're just Sycamoring it away, right? We always Sycamore here. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. That's 17, 18, 19 with Band. Down to 17 with Resist. So we have to start being a little bit more careful. We do hit exactly Metagross Energy. Let's Geotech Systems. And Geotech Systems. We'll attach. Okay, so we are at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. if I go 18, 20, sorry, 18, 20, no, we don't play any items here. Definitely not. We don't even need the third Metagross, so why would we extend into potential Garbodor KOs if we don't have to? Let's just take the good old knockouts. Gonna see a level ball for another Trubbish. See an attachment. Don't know why I attached the one he just benched instantly. Oh, it's an acid spray. Okay. Oops. We will just retreat. And you can see how the combo starts working. We can Wally. I think there's a Metang in there. I'm happy to Wally because I don't want to draw into it later and it's not an item card. So it just makes sense. Psych Energy is just irrelevant now compared to a Metal Energy because we've used our GX attack, but we're taking another Giga Hammer knockout. Our opponent seems to not have much going for them here. They're still potentially in this game though, for sure, because we've already spent one of our max potions and we've GX attacked. Typically, I try to Tapu cure whenever possible. So we might need to find our third Metagross quite soon. Bearing in mind he's not doing a huge amount yet. Do you see Special Charge? A few choice bands flying onto the field as well. Rescue Stretcher gets back probably the Garbodor or the Zoroark. Yeah, just the Zoro. Did they attach energy this turn? I think they have, right? Yeah, another acid spray. It's irrelevant, the outcome. Oh no, wait, it's not relevant. This forces me to actually draw... Oh. Well, it could have made me spend an item card, but because we top decked it, we didn't have to. Triple Geotech. We are in the combo. We are in the almighty loop where we don't need a hand anymore. And that's a pretty crazy good thing. We will now look at our discard pile and debate if it's worth getting rid of 2 choice bands for 20 damage. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Up to 18. 18 is so safe. Let's just blow these away. Especially when we don't need to spend an item again in this game. Carving through the Trubbishes is good. We know the Zoroark can only copy 150 worth of damage anyway, so we are seemingly in the clear here for now, seeing as though we still missed out on Garbodors. See a Dark Energy, finally a Zoroark break comes into play. And we see an N. I've already mentioned that right now at least we don't need a hand at all. But maybe we'll need to draw into like max potions or something. But it fails a level ball, so all of their non-EXs, their evolving Pokemon are in the discard pile, always trying to just lower the hand size for Oranguru. Go see Trash Launch, maybe? Well, he still has the option to stand in, but yeah, just Trash Launch here. We will do our Metagross Shenans, retreat, Geotech a bunch. I mean, I'm not so certain of what this archetype is, to be truthful with you. But at the same time, we're just seeing that we cover a lot of bases by having this much HP, right? Once we get into this loop, it's universally awkward. I'll Sycamore here. Especially because we're getting rid of the last Garbodor, I don't mind spending 20 damage to do it. Get myself potential Lysandres and cards that we don't need anymore. But again, the hand isn't important to us, so I don't want to overplay items just for the sake of it, because they could be playing spicy Wallies and stuff, so... We did miss Max Potion at least. I didn't actually check if it was prized or not, to be honest, so... We could see one pop out here, even. Huzzah! No. We're fine, though. We've raced so far ahead that it's absolutely fine for us. We are in the clear, in my opinion. CVS Seeker. 4N. And, I mean, our board sorts us out every turn, so affecting our hand is not a problem. It's much stronger to Hex Maniac, this deck, or it's much stronger to... Even Lysandre is really awkward because it resets our own Giga Hammer, so it's just annoying. This deck is annoying to play against. Let's try and draw into Max Potion. Still no, I might as well just scout it now, because we're going to go down to one prize, so I never have to be concerned about Garbodor. Max Potion is in the deck, so I guess I just grab a non-EX, it doesn't really hurt me. Let's manually attach here. No, it's Lele, because he's going to be attacking with Oranguru, of course. I should never have attached this energy to my Metagross, I've only just realised, because we're in the Geotech loop. I should have been attaching it to Lele for 2 turns ago. Pachoo! Is there ever a reason to attach the 4th energy to the active? We're still way out of Oranguru range, right? I don't think it ever hurts us to do it. And it's nice neat maths on the break. 1 prize away. They just have 5 to go. I don't see a huge way that we can lose the game. To be honest, Metagross sweeping right now. Only 1 Max Potion required. Broken. Who needs 3? There we go. Metagross taking names, doing work. Being consistent, getting multiple stage 2s out in multiple games is very cool to see. I think Wally warrants his spot. We were using him in cool spots here and there, and just getting you there that little bit quicker and just having the option is cool. There was that discussion when I was saying we had Sycamore in hand, we had the Lele option for Wally that wouldn't ever punish us, so for that alone, for those moments, I feel like it's worth the 1 slot. So yeah, let me know what you think about the Archetype overall. Is it one that's going to stay in the format? Is it a one-hit wonder that just came second and we won't see it much anymore? I personally think it's good enough to be considered as an Archetype, but I also think it's quite easily countered just by stage 1s playing Flareon. So we shall see. Let me know what you guys think about my list. Obviously very, very heavily based off Szymanski, so I'm not trying to take any credit from it, but I like my few tweaks, and it's really based off of his own feedback that he gave to the public. So feel free to read that article. Listening to him talk about how he thinks about the game is still educational as well, even when you are watching these videos and seeing me play through it. But for now, subscribe to the channel if it's your first time here and you haven't already. That would be awesome. Leave a like to the video if you did. And I'll be seeing you guys next time for a bit of Vikavolt Bulu action, another deck that was featured heavily on the Birmingham stream. And I think it is excellent also. Right, that's it for today, guys. Let's see you soon.